Ending this pandemic depends on getting people to take a COVID vaccine, especially people of color. Surveys show that African Americans express more hesitancy than other groups. Black folks have been treated poorly by the medical establishment in many ways. Hard to blame someone for feeling skittish. So how do we break through that cynicism and fear? We might find part of the solution in Black History Month. Tomorrow is more than just Super Bowl Sunday. February 7th marks 95 years since the birth of Negro History Week. It was created in 1926 by the pioneering scholar Carter G. Woodson. His idea was to help all Americans appreciate the contributions of Black people and to empower Black folks by connecting us to our heritage. That heritage includes the fight against disease. A vaccine gives your body a weakened virus to fight. That way, when it encounters a full-strength virus, it knows what to do. Early forms of this practice have been around for centuries in China, India, and Africa. But who introduced it to the 13 colonies? A slave. He was called Onesimus. His owner, Cotton Mather, a Puritan minister in Boston. In the early 1700s, smallpox was ravaging New England. One day, Mather asked Onesimus if he had ever had smallpox. The slave answered, yes and no. Onesimus explained that in his village, which is part of what is now Libya, they protected people by exposing them to the pus of smallpox patients. A person would get a small cut, the pus would be applied, and they would be cared for through their sickness. As it turns out, they died much less often than those who got smallpox naturally. Now, not surprisingly, this idea was controversial. But once Mather shared it, the results were undeniable. Even Ben Franklin wrote about it in a pamphlet on treating smallpox. And his research confirmed what Onesimus told his owner. So let us put this question to bed, please. Are vaccines safe? Yes. And we have a slave to thank for that. But that's the past. What about the present? The people who developed the COVID vaccines. African Americans are helping lead this research too. This is Dr. Kizzmekia Corbett. She is the scientific lead for coronavirus vaccines at the National Institutes of Health. Dr. Corbett's team had been studying coronaviruses for years before this one emerged. Lately, she's been talking to the public about the vaccine a lot, including the pace of getting people immunized. She recently gave a reality check on the complaints over that pace during a webinar.
It makes me so sad that people call any of this a failure. Do you know that these companies went on a limb and started producing vaccine without even knowing whether or not it would be bought?
Yeah.
So what is happening right now is life. It's not slow. They produce 40 million initial doses, waited for FDA approval. Those doses are being distributed as we speak. And they've promised the hundreds of millions of extra doses by the spring, which is on par with what anyone could expect. It's not slow. It is absolutely on time and very generous.
So, can Black folks trust the people behind the vaccine? Yes. Those people have included us for a long time. If you look at historical figures and think, there's no way I could do what they did, then you're missing the point of history, Black or otherwise. Dr. Kizzmekia Corbett would have every right to feel out of her league, except that a slave called Onesimus paved the way. Racial justice protesters would have every right to feel out of their league, except that Rosa Parks and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Congressman John Lewis and so many others paved their way. And because their achievements benefit everyone, you are a part of their legacy, no matter your race or color. If they did what they did then, imagine what you can do now. Dr. Carter G. Woodson wrote many books, including The Miseducation of the Negro. One passage feels very appropriate, especially after the attack on the Capitol. Supporters of conspiracy theories and extremist groups may want to heed his warning. It's aimed at Black people, but it applies to us all. Quote, "When you determine what a man shall think, you do not have to concern yourself about what he will do. If you make a man feel that he is inferior, you do not have to compel him to accept an inferior status, for he will seek it himself. If you make a man think that he is justly an outcast, you do not have to order him to the back door. He will go without being told. And if there is no back door, his very nature will demand one. The next time something online gets your blood boiling, put it to the test. Does this make me feel like an outcast? Angry, bitter, dehumanized, vindictive, cold? If so, then you might be on a dangerous path. Conspiracy theories might feel empowering, but the truth of history is ennobling. History makes me know that I am a part of this world, not apart from this world. Some may try to cast me out, but I am no outcast. I am an American. I own my history. And I'm not afraid to write a new chapter along the way. With that said, we'd love to hear from you. How has a Black historical figure inspired you the most? Email us, theweek@msnbc.com, or tweet us a video. We're at theweekmsnbc. Be sure to include your name and city, and do keep it as brief as you can. Now, we're off tomorrow, but we'll share some of our favorite stories on Twitter. Again, we are at theweekmsnbc.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.